Guys, silver is going absolutely crazy. Just pushed up to $121. Absolutely wild. Silver is almost moving like a meme coin right now. So we're going to talk about silver. We're going to talk about what I would do in this situation. We're going to talk a little bit about gold. And yeah, just a quick one really, just to quickly chat about silver. So we've been on this parabolic run now for some time. I mean, most of the moves have been made recently. This monthly candle has just been going absolutely parabolic. And even from, so if we go back to the SMC bot gave us a buy signal around $20. So just from then, it's up 480%. And that buy signal flashed in 2022. So, just in 3 years, 4 years, it's gone up 480%. Now, that might not sound a lot like a lot to us in crypto. It is an absolute phenomenal amount to institutions, banks, whales, CEOs, etc. So huge increase in silver over a very short amount of time. So just remember, someone who had maybe $1 billion in silver has just made $4 billion in a very short amount of time, almost $5 billion in just a few years, right? So a lot of people have made a lot of money very fast. What happens in these situations when people make a lot of money, you also usually get a very aggressive correction and can be a very long correction shortly after. When is that going to happen? No one knows. What happens when you get these big green candles like this is it's all over the news. Retail start to really buy heavy. We've been looking at the retail flows for gold and silver. And, there's been huge retail buying, almost at all-time highs, right? And we know that people have been actually taking loans to buy stocks and metals as well. So people are actually taking loans to buy these things, which is why you can get these parabolic blow-off tops, right? And you can get these rallies. The question is, it can just keep going until it doesn't, right? The trend is your friend until the end. The trend is to the upside. I did try a tiny little short at $100 because it was a big psychological number, but with the current momentum and gold, it was highly risky. So I set a stop loss around 102. So it's risking a very small amount just to see if we got a rejection at that psychological level, but we just completely blasted through it with no resistance whatsoever. So yeah, I know. I also saw, I think Gareth Soloway was on a big YouTube channel the other day talking about how he's just entered a short. I think that was around 100. Well, sorry, he'd entered multiple shorts. He had a few stop losses on his shorts, but I think he got into a new short, calling for a top around $116, and now we're already at 121, guys. So it's a very dangerous game to short strength, and I would argue that for me personally, it's a much better strategy to actually wait for a breakdown and confirmation of a breakdown rather than trying to guess when the top is. It could be 120, 121 the top, it could be 160, it could be 190, it could be 340, right? You don't want to get into a position, which Gareth has done quite a lot, where he just shorts and shorts and shorts and shorts and shorts, as he did on Solana, right? He started shorting Solana around $25, and then it went to $300. So the trend is your friend until the end. Silver is pushing to the upside. If you are long silver, or if you did get in silver, what I would do personally, I can't give you financial advice, but I would just simply have a trailing stop loss. Every time we go higher, I would move my trailing stop loss up just in case we get a correction and we move like this. I would move my trailing stop loss up above the key levels, right? And maybe this is a key level of resistance here. I move my stop loss up here, and then maybe we come back down to that level. And that way you have exposure as it continues to go up. If I'm looking for shorts, then I'm looking for the opposite, right? I'm looking for some sort of breakdown like this, and then I'm looking for a retest, maybe a double top, and I'm looking for some kind of M pattern to play out, and then I'm looking for my short entry. We break the resistance line, and then we come down into a correction. That's kind of what I would be looking at for short positions. Right now, the macro is not screaming for shorts. The dollar is absolutely crumbling. More and more people are trying to buy gold and silver, and the trend is your friend. If we look at what happened to silver last time, so this is something that we can look out for, right, in the last cycle. So we had this yellow topping candle. When we get these yellow candles from the SMC bot, which is the Smart Money Crypto bot, which actually comes free with my Discord. So when you join us and you join the other members in the Discord. I think we've got around 1,000 members now. They are all trading, and a lot of them are actually using the SMC bot to take trades and look for trades. So if you want to join us, the SMC bot comes free with the Discord, and of course you also see the Discord. You see my buy alerts, sell alerts, what stocks I'm buying, what stocks I'm selling, what cryptos I'm trading, and loads of other stuff we offer inside the Discord, including on-chain data as well, so we can see in real time what the smart money are doing, what trades they're taking. So yeah, the SMC bot gives these monthly. See here where it turns yellow, it's often a sign to say, hey, you're getting a little bit overheated here, and you might come to the downside. Now we might see that again on silver. See how we had this yellow candle and then the price actually came down. Let's see how much it came down from the all-time. Well, let's say from the yellow candle it came down 71%. So absolutely huge correction here on silver, and I just want to get that across to you guys that this is possible and that this could actually happen again, right? 70% correction could definitely happen again. And notice how parabolic it went here, month after month of upside, upside, upside. Almost felt like it was never going to end. Retail FOMO was crazy. More and more retail kept buying and buying and buying, when actually, in fact, it was the worst time to buy. And the best time to buy was down here when the SMC bot gave a buy signal all the way down here. Was the best time to buy. How much of an increase was it from the buy signal? So it flagged the buy around $12 and it went up to 37, which is quite interesting. So 302%. So we've already superseded this move in the recent pump, right? Because we just worked that out. It was like 480%. And then we had the sell signal from the SMC bot around 27 in the end. A monthly sell signal when we lost this major support here. You see here where we had this major support level, and then traders would have completely just dumped that after we lost that level, because you're looking at much lower prices. But ideally, this is where I'm really interested in short. You see how you have the sell-off here, and then you came back and had the relief rally. See the monthly yellow candle sell-off, then you had the relief rally. This is what I like to short, and it can be tricky because sometimes you don't know if you're going to get the M pattern, the double top, or whether you're going to get a lower high, and it turned out to be a lower high here. So sometimes in a strategy like this, I'll look at smaller time frames, so 4 hourly, daily, try and look at resistance zones, and maybe build a position as well. So maybe start here just in case we come up and get a double top, and then add to that position. So yeah, 71% correction, absolutely crazy. We had a sell signal here, we had a little fake out here from the SMC bot, and then it went straight back into a sell, right? So if I was in a long position here, as soon as I got that sell, I'm straight out of that position. We did have a little bit of a chop here. Something to take into consideration is that sometimes it's good to zoom out and notice that, okay, we are in a downtrend here, right? So I am going to take these signals with a pinch of salt. I can clearly see my resistance I need to get over, and then bang, we got over the resistance and we started to get buy signals from the SMC bot. The last buy signal flashed around, we talked around this, around $21, right? And we haven't had a sell signal since then. And it held up really nicely on the monthly SMC. So notice how it bounced off this monthly here, bounced and bounced and bounced. It's just really strong support. It couldn't get below, and then the sky's the limit right after we started to break into price discovery. Nice yellow candle here as well. We had a yellow candle which ended up being quite a big correction actually back to the downside, and then we recovered and moved to the upside. We have not had a yellow monthly candle on silver, and we still don't have a sell signal from the SMC bot, right? So again, trend is your friend until the end. We continue to move to the upside for now until proven otherwise. I expect higher prices, right? Will be nice to see if we get a monthly. Imagine we get a fat yellow monthly candle close next month here, and then I'm going to be looking for some sort of relief rally or maybe an M pattern into a short. The tricky thing with silver is a lot of people are saying, I'm just going to DCA silver, I'm just going to buy silver, I think it's going to do well over the next few years, etc., etc. The problem with silver is one of the hardest things to trade, because if you imagine all the people who bought silver in the last bull run, okay, so let's say they bought silver here. Let's say they're 20 years old and they bought silver in this range. It took them, we've only just broken a high, right? So we've only just broken that $50 range. So the all-time high in 2011, and then it broke the trend in 2025. So 14 years at a loss. So imagine you're 20 years old right now, you buy silver, you think you're a genius, you're telling all your friends, yeah, silver and gold, there's a limited supply, it's a tangible asset. And then, you know, you're 20 years old, and then at age 34, your friends are saying, how's your silver, man? You told us it was the greatest thing ever. You said you were going to be a millionaire. And you're 34 and you're at a loss. You're still at a loss. And not only are you at a loss, you've watched Nvidia go and do 100x. You've watched Bitcoin, because this is 14 years, right? You've watched Bitcoin go and do a 10,000x or whatever it done. You've watched Tesla go and do 100x. You've watched Netflix go and do 100x. You've watched Palantir do 100x. You've watched all of these things skyrocket whilst you sat for 14 years in a loss. And then it started to pump, and still, if you bought silver in the hype, you're not even up that much, right? You're not even up that much. You're up over like 2-3x or something, right? So very, very difficult. Now, a lot of people will also say, I'll just buy in the bear. I'll just buy the bottom. And even if you bought here, right, after a 70% correction, even if you bought silver here, 5 years later, it was 5 years later. 5 years later, you was at a loss, right? So, you know, you're 35 years old, you buy silver here thinking you bought the bottom after a 70% correction. 5 years later, you're still at a loss, right? So here's 2015. And even in 2022, 7 years later, you're at like a 10% gain after 7 years. And again, you've sat for another Bitcoin bull run and bear market. You've sat for another stock market. You've sat for all of these gains, and you are only up 10-20%. So don't get it twisted, guys. It's been in a downtrend for 14-15 years. Even the best investors have struggled to hold silver. You know, there would have been people who sold and went into Bitcoin here, would have been the best decision ever. Sold and went into Bitcoin here, best decision ever, best decision ever, best decision ever, best decision ever, best decision ever. Even though those who held silver are up right now, going into almost any obvious asset like Nvidia, Tesla, Google, Bitcoin would have been the best decision ever. We just get FOMO when we see this, and we like, why didn't we buy silver? Why didn't I get silver? And more than likely, it's going to go into a similar correction, right? So it just had one of the biggest corrections, like a 14-year correction. Where are we now? 2026. So let's go 4 years to 2030. So we might even see a correction like this. And then add another 10 years on here, all the way into 2040 is kind of what it done last cycle, right? So it just went something like this all the way up to 2040. And then it broke out into its all-time high, into price discovery. So personally, a better trade here for me, if we look at how silver reacts once it breaks into price discovery, it tends to do very well. It broke price discovery around $49, $50, and it's already at 121. So it does seem like a no-brainer for the future. When it actually breaks into price discovery, that's probably where I would buy. I just know that I don't have the patience to sit in a loss for 10, 20 years. If I buy in or DCA silver here, and I know that it can have a 70% correction, it's just not a position of strength for me. I want to be buying down here when the SMC bot is telling me to buy, and I want to be selling when the SMC bot is telling me to sell, or we get one of these yellow monthly candles, right? And then I'm going to be looking for short positions. So the only thing I'm looking for silver is a short, and again, I'm not going to try and guess when that's going to be. You know, the trend is your friend until the end. You could have shorted gold and silver over and over and over again. You would have got liquidated. And I don't doubt there's probably traders who have emptied their entire accounts trying to short silver, trying to short gold. And you know, if you just were patient here and you either shorted when you got this yellow candle, or you shorted when you had the sell signal from the SMC bot, you had 100% win rate, right? And if you shorted here and held all the way down, you made life-changing money. And if you shorted here and held down, you made really good money, right? Not life-changing, but you made really good money depending on how much leverage. And both signals were 100% right. This was right, and then this was right, right? Okay, so for me personally, I'm going to let the data lead. I'm not going to try and guess, even though I took a little degen short on silver. I had like a tiny stop loss on there of $102, and thank God I did, because I would have been absolutely liquidated, right? So yeah, that's it for now, guys. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about on gold and silver. Same story for gold. Trend is your friend until the end. I don't see any signs here to start shorting this. I think it is going to have a blow off top. I just don't know where. You don't know where it's going to top, and you don't know what's going on in the background with Trump and what their plans are. You don't know if they're planning to go to war. There is some bad news about Bitcoin and what's going on right now. I don't want to give you all the doom and gloom, guys, but I'm pretty sure you can work it out. Maybe I'll do a video on Bitcoin and gold's correlation, but it's not good news, guys. We should have rallied and followed gold by now. What's your thoughts on silver? Oh, I did actually buy another metals, guys. So I did actually long a metals. I've posted it in my Discord. So if you want to see that, jump in the Discord, and you can see I put it in high risk leverage trades, so you can see my trades in there and what trades I'm taking. But I have taken a trade on a metal. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget, none of the information in this video is financial advice. Do your own research. Investing in crypto, investing in anything is highly risky. You can lose all of your money investing in anything. I'm not a financial advisor. That's it for now, guys. Until then, I'll catch you in the next one.